Lines 17 and 18. Victories with no survivors would put on clean clothes. The poet puts forth the paradox of wars, where everyone experiences a loss and victory becomes a result for the sake of ending the wars. It warns us of a future possibility when man's inventions will go against him and destroy the human race. The deadly weapons are a proof of man's intelligence and the success of technological advancement and scientific progress achieved by him. But it is the defeat of humanity. The continuous warfare will convert this living planet into a wasteland. Man would shed his blood soiled clothes and wear clean clothes. He would cleanse his soul, heart, and mind of all anger and hatred. He would adopt a new approach towards life, understand the destructive nature of wars, and realize that killing so many people is not victory. The poetic device used here is metaphor. Put on clean clothes is similar to adopting a new approach towards life, which is filled with peace and understanding. Lines 19 and 20. And walk about with their brothers in the shade, doing nothing. We should walk with all fellow beings like brothers. This change in perspective will bring about love and respect for fellow human beings. The poet wants all of us to leave the path of destruction and to be united. In the shade means peace and love towards nature and without violence. Just like shade protects us from the harsh sun, we should protect and shelter each others as brothers and live in peace and harmony. The poetic device used here is metaphor. In the shade is the metaphor. Lines 21 and 22. What I want should not be confused with total inactivity. The poet warns us that his message of silence should not be confused with total inactivity or inertia. He does not want us to stop our work, but to take some time and analyze the result of our deeds. Doing nothing and indulging in silence and stillness will refuel and refresh ourselves for a more fulfilling life. Lines 23 and 24. Life is what it is about. I want no truck with death. He further clarifies that his message does not have any connection with death. He just wants us to stop for a while and feel the tranquility of a positive introspection. But he does not want introspection to be confused with total inactivity or death. He does not want death to interfere in our life before time. It should come at the end of a life lived full and well, without regrets. Lines 25 and 26. If we were not so single minded about keeping our lives moving, all human beings work endlessly with the aim of completing all their tasks. They are driven by the target of survival and the threat of death. So, they are in a mad rush to accomplish all their tasks. The poet comments on man's erroneous notion of progress, which is a mechanical movement forward. Lines 27-28. And for once could do nothing, perhaps a huge silence. He says that if they pause for a while, they can appreciate their achievements and their lives would become happier. By keeping quiet, we will be able to understand the true purpose of our life. Lines 29-31 might interrupt this sadness of never understanding ourselves and of threatening ourselves with death. Man is treading the path of destruction in the name of progress. In his obsession with materialism, he sacrifices his emotional needs. He wishes that he had allowed the silence of introspection to break the hold that sadness has over his mind. But his failure to do so brings him closer to the darkness of despair and death. Lines 32 to 34. Perhaps the earth can teach us as when everything seems dead and later proves to be alive. The poet suggests that man should learn from nature. The earth undergoes changes due to a change in seasons. In the winter, everything freezes and becomes lifeless, but the season changes again and it gives birth to a new life. It appears to be dead on the surface, but is actually dormant and carefully preserving the seeds of life. Human beings, too, need to keep still and quiet to rejuvenate and awaken the life forces within and be productive. The poetic device used here is symbolism. Lines 35-36. Now I'll count up to 12 and you keep quiet and I will go. The poet has conveyed the purpose of his message and he asks the people once again to take a pause, count till 12, and he walks out. He leaves us thoughtful and pensive. He wants us to ponder upon the thoughts planted by him. He has confidence that having real
Thus, keeping quiet emphasizes the necessity of quiet introspection and creating a feeling of mutual understanding among human beings. It conveys Neruda's philosophy of an exotic moment of silence and inactivity, which can be an antidote to war, violence, hatred, exploitation, and turmoil. By keeping quiet, mankind can try to understand itself and stop harming itself with death and destruction.